prepare yourselves now for the women's floor exercise, and 8 contenders come out to take this one on. From powerful tumbling to elegant dance, the women's floor exercise is a dynamic spectacle of skill and artistry. Which of these 8 athletes rise to the challenge and make the podium? Well, a full lineup here of the 8 contenders. I need to keep an eye on the 2 Japanese athletes going 1st and 7th. Nakamura Mana qualified 2nd, Paris Olympian, just 19 years old. She got a 13.367 through qualification. Sugihara going 7th down near the end of the contest. Osaka scored a 13.600. The Japanese athletes say contenders. They both competed in the Olympic Games. Sugihara, Rio 2016 and Tokyo 2020. Nakamura, Paris 2024. 2 Americans might be worth looking out for as well. Jayla Hang has already experienced gold here on the vault. Made the podium in the women's balance beam. And her teammate, Claire Pease, who qualified 9th and was promoted into the balance beam final because of the withdrawal of Greta Moya of Hungary, surprised us all by taking the gold medal just a little earlier on today. Took silver on the balance beam. They'll be looking to inspire the youngsters watching on. Sara Petter, Hungarian from Budapest, 22 years old. She'll be going 4th in the order. She was 10th on the floor at the Baku World Cup just a couple of weekends ago. So we're about to get underway. Choreography, absolutely important, but so is the coverage of the floor. Nakamura Mana from Japan to start the women's floor exercise here in Antalya. Well, playful, full of musicality as well. There were moments where, for sure, deductions were going to be applied, most notably stepping outside the bounds of the floor, in the far corner as we looked at it. Oh, great deal of elements in Okamura's routine there. The movement from playful to serious in the facial expressions as well, just adding to that artistry. Like bringing the choreography to life. She's going to be putting down a benchmark, that is for sure. The question is it high enough? She got a penalty in her... Oh, apologies, no penalties in her qualification run. At the highest level of difficulty in the routine as well. And she has got pedigree, gold on the floor at the Cairo World Cup last year. Paris 2024 Olympian. Well, those athletes, you just look at them and they're just loving their job. So 13.066, the benchmark set. That is 0.5 points down from where she was in qualification. Now, the star of the women's competition here in Antalya. 2 silvers and a gold already, and that gold coming for an event she didn't technically qualify for. Claire Pease of the United States of America. Exquisite. Simply stunning. Making a World Cup debut. Singing World Cup debut, I should say. 16-year-old from Hawaii has really brought Antalya to life. 2 silvers and a gold already here, and I think that floor routine is worthy of another medal here. And talk about the contrast from Okimura's routine. Playful and cheeky. This was much more like it was set on a stage of a dramatic oriental play. It was absolutely thrilling. The tumbles, superb. Okay, she might get marked down a little bit on the landings, but there was lots of complexity, a lot of difficulty in there. That was the biggest of the corrections required on landing, and I wonder if she'll get marked down for just stepping outside, just a little glimpse of the heel on the outer red area outside the field of play. Claire Pease, the USA, looking for medal number 4 here. One of the judges is done. Just waiting for the others. Looks like the rubber stamping of the rubber stamping has been done. All we need now are for the scores to appear, and there it is, a 13.266. Moves her straight up into first place. Now, Mexico's Michelle Pineda, originally from the USA, switched to compete under the Mexican flag last year. Well, talk about a little bit of Latin flair. The Mexican vibes were very strong in that routine. Yes, there was a little error on the landing of one of the tumbles, but the fourth best qualifier, set a 13.167 in qualification. Got marked down just a touch on execution through qualification, which might be the case here. But well, one thing's for sure, we've seen 3 routines that have been so contrasting in their musicality, their theatre. All 3 have been stunning. (13.266), the top score set so far by Claire Pease of the United States of America. Michelle Pineda looking on. Has she done enough to overcome the North American opponent here in Antalya? (13.266). It's the same score, but second place at the moment for Pineda. Now the 4th of our contenders, Hungary's 22-year-old Sara Petter. No shortage of drama in that one either. Sara Petter doesn't look too happy at the outcome. She certainly stepped outside the boundaries of the floor on one occasion. She got a 12.9 in qualification, but the difficulty was a little bit lower than her opponents here in this final. Great deal of amplitude there, and spotted that landing. Complicated combination of tumbles, and there's the step out. 12.7 on the nose, and it's that difficulty score that has brought her down. So no challenge for the podium from Sarah Petter from Hungary. And the second group of athletes have their warm-up time. Jayla Hang looking to add to her vault gold that she's taken here in Antalya. She'll be going 6th. Next up it's Keisha Lockhart from Norway. So the 17-year-old Norwegian from Kongsvinger. Qualifier number 8 begins her routine here in Antalya. Again, something a little different. Wonders whether some of the landings may result in points deductions that will prevent her from threatening the podium. I just came loose a little bit there. A great deal of theatre, that's for sure. 12.233, only good enough for 5th place. 3 athletes to go. Jayla Hang from the United States of America, the vault champion here in Antalya, to go next. see why she qualified third for this floor final. 13.333 through her qualification exercise. Coach providing solid support there. Affirmation of some work that she's done on her Senior World Cup debut. Part of the floor routine requires the athletes to use as much of the expanse as possible. If you're being really hypercritical, Hang stayed very safely within the bounds. At 12.966, only good enough for fourth place here. So the leading pack, Peas of the USA from Pineda and Okamura, 13.066, the score to beat to get into a podium position. Sugihara Aiko up next. Well, top qualifier there from Osaka, Japan, 25-year-old Sugihara Aiko. She gave us two routines there wrapped into one. And that was full of vim and vigour. And talk about using the whole floor. She did that and not a tiny bit more. Don't think it's possible for her to go around one more time, but that she did and kept her form as well. Great amplitude on that leap. And she's got a reason to be pleased. 13.066. More than that will get her into a podium position. 13.266 is the score to beat for gold. Trying to keep her mind clear and still, but the anticipation is very tricky to manage, especially with a camera pointed in your face. That does give us a chance to look back on some of that fantastic routine and talk about using all of the floor and not just 1 inch more. Perfect example of landing in the corners after a tumbling routine. And the moment that the story changed for Sugihara in her music. Change of music came a breath of fresh air in terms of the routine. It's almost like as the music sprung free, so did she. Never a good sign when the judges are having to phone for IT support. Everyone's waiting for these scores to come in. Great anticipation. Some of the Japanese contingent in the crowd have come ready to dash straight to the airport. Suitcases in tow. Hope their flight's not too soon. Sugihara Eiko has just been made to wait a little bit longer for these scores to come through. something's afoot in the judging corner. So we know she's got no line penalties. Well, not from that judge anyway. Other than that, we can't really say too much. Well, still managing to keep a smile on her face. We have got one athlete left to go. 13.633 pushes Sugihara to the top of the rankings. So the wait was worth waiting for. Final contender, Qin Qingyi from the People's Republic of China. So, Qin Qingyi completes her routine. Not the highest level of difficulty, but execution was pretty good. Is it enough to break into the top three? 13.266 would be the minimum required. Sugihara of Japan broke into the top spot with a 13.633. I don't think that's going to get challenged, but Pease of the USA sitting second with 13.266. Pineda of Mexico on the same score in third. Could be threatened. Is it into the 13s or not? That is the question. Well, it is into the 13s, but it's not enough to break onto the podium, and that means that the women's competition is concluded, and here are the classified results. Sugihara Aiko from Japan taking gold. Claire Pease with her third silver medal here in Antalya will be delighted on her World Cup debut. The United States of America have got a bit of a star in the making there. So now onto the women's floor, and it's a fourth medal of a fourth event, silver for Claire Pease on the left-hand side. On the right with the bronze, Michelle Pineda of Mexico, the top of the pile. The biggest smile in the house, it's Sugihara Aiko. She had to wait an awfully long time for her scores to come in, but Japanese athlete from Osaka final women's gold of the competition, but a competition that we have to give a nod to Claire Pease for the USA. 1 gold, 3 silver medals, including the women's floor. It will be Sugihara who will celebrate with her anthem though.
Congratulations.
The women's competition medalists. Sugihara Aiko from Japan with gold. Claire Pease of the United States of America with silver. Michelle Pineda of Mexico with the bronze medal.